When tragedy strikes, whether it's a violent crime, unattended death, or biohazard situation, there's more to the job than just restoring a space. Trauma cleanup professionals are often the first to arrive after emergency services leave, stepping into emotionally charged environments where empathy, discretion, and professionalism are just as critical as technical skill. Today, we explore the human side of trauma cleanup, why compassion matters, how technicians navigate grief and shock, and what it takes to provide more than just a clean space. Our guest brings deep experience from the front lines of crisis response, offering insights into what it truly means to serve people at their most vulnerable. So, to do this at this time, I'm pleased to welcome Jordan Frady with First Onsite Property Restoration. Jordan, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
So, Jordan, we don't know you. So we just met a few minutes ago as we got on this
Yeah,
recording. Tell us about yourself, a little history and what you do at First On Site.
yeah. So as you said, first on-site property restoration. I've been a project supervisor here for roughly the last year. Really getting into the commercial side of property restoration, doing a lot of healthcare work in hospitals, water damage, mold, fire, reconstruction. But before that, the last 4 or 5 years prior to this last year, was pretty much all spent in the trauma and crime scene cleanup space.
Are there any common or big misconceptions that people have about trauma cleanup that you can think of?
Yeah, I mean, from like a regulatory standards type aspect, it is relatively new, right? So a lot of people are familiar with IRCRC. A lot of people are familiar with those standards, S500, S520. You say those to most restorers and they immediately know what that is. S540, which is the standard for trauma and crime scene cleanup, the very first edition only came out in 2017. So we're not talking about this industry that's had standards around it for decades, like you may have had for water and mold. So kind of as you hinted to it in a joking manner earlier, as far as you did a couple jobs that back then is a little bit different. Back then was not that long ago, and it was a little bit different. And so the more that we're getting professionals out there advocating for these services and what things need to be happening with them, those we see those standards increasing. As the standard S540 came out and now second edition's out. There's more. IRCC now has the TCST, course specifically around this. Organizations like ABRA has certifications. So that misconception I think is that it's just kind of a mess to go into and kind of clean up, whereas it's like no, there are some serious hazards involved with this. Emotionally, which we've hit on quite a bit, but then also the physical hazards.
Scenes stick to your head, and not everyone, would you agree, is cut out for this?
100%, definitely not. A funny example of that, if you will, is we had we were looking for a technician. We hired someone on as whatever the title was, a crime and trauma scene technician, right? Should be pretty clear as day. The job description very much mentioned what type of scenes you might be going to. And very first job, left in the middle of the job and was like, I can't handle seeing blood. And like, we're kind of like, what did you expect this was going to be? But to your point, it's definitely not for everyone. Just because you're already in restoration does not mean necessarily that you should get into this side of it, whether it's from physically seeing what's there on the scene to emotionally being able to handle the clients, the families, the property management, hearing those stories and being able to process that and still get through the job professionally and be able to have enough in you to kind of continue going on.